Hi there, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about an article that I found at Counterpunch. This is 12 reasons to oppose rules on digital commerce in the WTO, and that there are issues amongst the efforts by some of our top tech companies to strive for dominance in the world of e-commerce, and that even now we're dealing with the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, and the concept of net neutrality. And so there are issues, and that there are five of the top seven largest corporations are dominating information. This is Google, which is number two, media, Facebook, number seven, retail, Amazon, number six, and technology, which is Apple at number one, and Microsoft at number three. And that's according to the World Economic Forum. And so one of the best investments one of these companies can make is to change the rules under which it operates so that it can extract even greater profits from the global economy. And that some of them, or maybe all of them, are interested in doing that. And so this article also goes over the Trans-Pacific Partnership as a reminder, the trade agreement negotiated underneath the Obama administration. It was signed in 2016 by Barack Obama, but it never came to the Congress for a vote. There was not enough congressional support for it to be submitted for a vote. And so the TPP was the first trade agreement to include extensive binding so-called 21st century rules for a package of digital issues. And it was bundled underneath the title of e-commerce. And so this would have restricted countries' right to regulate areas such as privacy, consumer protection, cross-border data transfers, net neutrality, and other issues of internet governance. And so that there are existing forums that have concerns about this as well. And so things like this have been criticized by the Open Digital Trade Network as controversial. And so the TPP was abandoned by the Trump administration. However, the Trade and Service Agreement has not been abandoned by the Trump administration. Tisa is still in play. And as a matter of fact, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership is also still in play, that Paul Ryan has taken it upon himself as Speaker of the House and not the President to travel to various, places, reassuring that the United States still had interest in the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, which would be a trade agreement between the United States and the European Union, with the unfortunate investor-state dispute settlement that repelled most people away from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So these issues are still in play. And digital commerce, e-commerce, net neutrality, this is just one small portion, that these trade agreements cover such a wide variety of issues concerning agriculture, workers' rights, things like this, human rights, that it's, all encompassing. And so not to be underestimated, definitely not a single issue type of concern. And it was the Trans-Pacific Partnership, these trade agreements, that actually contributed to the sinking of Hillary Clinton's campaign for president, that she was associated with these trade deals, with globalism, with Wall Street, and it actually did harm her, that Barack Obama was very much an ardent supporter of these trade deals, specifically Trans-Pacific Partnership, and that Hillary Clinton tried to hide her support or dismiss it or underplay it, where she praised it so many times, calling it the gold standard. For instance, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. People knew better. People didn't trust her when she said that she no longer supported it. And And, people said, well, she says this, but we don't know. And so this is a caution that people are bringing to these trade deals. They're listening at what people say, but they're also watching what people do. And the fact that Donald Trump did dead the TPP is great. However, Tisa and Ttip are still in play, and that Paul Ryan is going around being a champion for Ttip as Speaker of the House, and that even NAFTA is supposedly going to be renegotiated, and then there's a push to actually incorporate some of the language of the Trans-Pacific Partnership into NAFTA. And so, every goodbye ain't gone. And, the public versus private stance, people are very cautious of that because, we have to count the votes. These trade deals are signed by the president, but they have to be ratified in the Congress. And if they are ratified, they are very harmful and very violating to labor rights, environment, e-commerce, things like this. And basically, it's a power grab. It would be a way for multinational corporations to totally subjugate our Constitution to their rule. And then our court system would be subjugated to international rule as well. We would no longer have sovereignty here in the United States. Forget what you know. With these trade agreements, it's whatever they say it is. And so people are very concerned. And, people are counting votes as well. And so when it comes to electing people into the Congress, we have to look at all aspects of who we're sending into the Congress and get an idea for sure of which way they will vote on these trade deals. Because once it's ratified, it's very hard to undo. There is an opt-out option. Even with NAFTA, there's an opt-out option, but we've never opted out. It's not as easy as it seems to opt out of these trade deals. We haven't not opted out of NAFTA even after 25 years. Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership and Tisa, the way they're written, once they're ratified, they're here to stay. And so there's no going back, likely. And so we have to make sure we know who we're sending into the Congress and what their stance on these trade deals are. And that if someone has a public position on TPP, like Hillary Clinton did, and then a private position on TPP, we have to know in order to decide, can we trust this person when the vote comes up? Which way are they going to vote? Are they going to vote on progressive values that they've always had and have shown? Or are they going to just say whatever they have to say in order to get into the Congress, where once they're voted into the Congress, they can do basically whatever they want to do? And so when we see a candidate has a public position and a private position, we're concerned. And this is about Khanna, who in Wikileaks we discover, according to his campaign manager, supported the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And then now he doesn't. So he says. And so, people evolve, but we have to just look at overall pictures of the people, looking at the background in the lead up to their present position, saying, have they consistently been this way, or did they all of a sudden like switch and start telling people what they felt that people wanted to hear in order to get that support? So we really can't afford to overlook anything like that. We have to look and picture in our minds how these votes are going to be cast on these trade deals. And it's a concern. I mean, people say, like, well, it was his campaign manager, it wasn't him. Well, with the Podesta emails, it was the campaign manager, not Hillary Clinton, but there the Goldman Sachs, transcript is. And so what are we supposed to make of that? we have to do the research, we have to do the vetting, we have to know what we're dealing with. And if it wasn't, the general public discovering all this, making their own searches through WikiLeaks, it would have been his Republican challenger. So it was always going to be known. It was always going to be discussed. It was always going to be an issue. If someone's saying one thing in public and then another thing we discover in email, it has to be addressed. Again, we've got these trade deals and there's a lot at stake. And so that's for people who are running for office and want to get support of progressives. We've seen so much within the past year and a half of what can really happen when we give passes to candidates in the primary, and then we discover by the general election that a whole lot of bad stuff is about to go down. So anyway, I think that kind of explains how people might feel about, or what aspect when they're looking at these candidates and discovering things that are causing concern, and how they might have to work through that and make sure that they know what's what and who's who. Good luck.